But when the shoe is on the other foot and you can't demonize the left for this one, they say nothing. Nothing. Oh, it was just about anti-Christian bias. It was a Christian, by the way, killing other Christians.
Jesse, is this the right being hypocritical here?
Well, we're not inciting people to go kill Mormons. Like you're inciting people to attack ICE, like you're inciting people to attack Republicans. That doesn't happen. And if you look in the inner cities, Democrats are slaughtering each other day after day after day, and you don't say anything about that.
That's Fox News contributor Jessica Tarlov, a woman whose voice might be better suited for silent films, once again pretending that her endless stream of inflammatory attacks on Trump are somehow harmless. In reality, they keep pouring gasoline on the fire. But her act didn't last long, because Jesse Waters immediately dismantled her flimsy defense live on air. Welcome to Nurk News. I'm Nurkish, and the truth is crashing in fast. John Fetterman just reminded Democrats that words actually have consequences. For over a decade, they've labeled conservatives as authoritarian monsters, treating it like some edgy slogan to earn applause. But that kind of rhetoric isn't harmless, it's an open invitation to chaos. His blunt warning cuts straight through the media's carefully crafted narrative, and that's exactly why voices like Tarlov are scrambling to recycle the tired both sides excuse in the wake of political violence. She even tried to flip the script further by claiming that conservatives are the real source of the violence problem.
Had more mass shootings, which is just a daily occurrence in American life. And Kash Patel, J.D. Vance, and Donald Trump, Caroline Levin as well, out there with a very different narrative than I would think that they would have, but because it doesn't add up for them. The guy who drove up to the Mormon church, set the place on fire, killed 5 people, shooting them, was a Trump supporter. He had a Trump Vance flag in his backyard, which some on the right are trying to say that it said stop Trump. Doesn't make any sense. And if a leftist or someone had killed someone and had a dark Brandon flag or a Biden-Harris flag, you don't think that Kash Patel, that would have been the first thing that he would have said?
Yeah, because the right is going everywhere saying, go after the Mormon people. You know there's a difference. You know there's a difference when there's one person, a one-off, and people that are going on the day-to-day basis. It's not a one-off. Go back to the Axios chart, and you can see how much of a not one-off it is. The hypocrisy is astounding. If you want to have a message of tolerance and let's get these people the mental health they need, because he needed mental health, so did the guy in North Carolina who killed 3 people at that waterfront bar, a veteran, people who we ignore and don't treat. You know, people said warning signs for decades that had been ignored. Make that your message no matter who's killing people.
You asked this question, well, does the base want people to die? Yeah. Did you see the poll where it was like 20% of Democrats said they believed in political assassinations? Did you watch the aftermath of the Charlie Kirk killing? I mean, everybody was clapping on campus. Yeah, yeah.
Here's the moment that should make any rational observer pause. When a member of your own party says it's time to lower the temperature, the mature response would be to stop and take a hard look in the mirror. Instead, Jessica Tarlov and her allies in the legacy media sprint to their favorite tactic: drowning responsibility in a fog of both sides' rhetoric. This is the establishment media's go-to laundering system. Blur intent, flatten responsibility, and make it seem like everyone is equally guilty. But Fetterman shattered that safe narrative by pointing out what should have been obvious all along: incendiary labels inevitably lead to incendiary results. This isn't abstract theory. It's not a philosophical debate. It's cause and effect in plain sight. That's why Jesse Waters was able to cut straight through the smokescreen and expose the glaring double standard Tarlov refused to acknowledge.
Right-wing violence was much larger than the left-wing violence, which is the truth about it. And you can go anywhere you want for these statistics. You can go to Cato, you can go to the Government Accountability Office, you can go to the Center for, Strategic and International Studies to see that. And in the wake of the absolutely tragic assassination of Charlie Kirk, the right, led by Donald Trump and J.D. Vance, wants to make it out as if the left are the only ones who have ever used the word fascist.
If I had won a swing state Senate race after having a stroke against Moneybags celebrity Republican, I think people should listen to me. This guy is like a symbol for the working class, even as the hoodie, and you'd think the Democrats would listen to him. They don't listen to him. They listen to crazy liberal ladies in the cities. And I do feel conflicted, though, because, Jessica, when people say, oh, there's this guy and these ICE people are so crazy, I get mad because it's a lie. But then, when she says these ICE people are abducting and kidnapping innocent hairdressers and sending them to dungeons to be tortured, I think, well, that's scaring a lot of illegals to go home themselves. So the next time Jessica brings up all these scare stories about all of these illegals getting rounded up indiscriminately, innocent people being sent overseas, I'm just going to say I agree. Because 2 million illegals have seen these scare tactics that Jessica likes to talk about, and they have left by themselves. And that is actually working on Donald Trump's immigration policy's behalf.
This is a textbook example of liberal projection in action. Pretend your own side's rhetoric is harmless, then scream endlessly about conservatives manufacturing danger. But that narrative has been dismantled with clarity. Donald Trump has repeatedly condemned violence, while Democrats look the other way when their side riots in the streets, celebrates destruction, or physically attacks political opponents. That's not both sides. That's one side refusing to own its behavior. Even Fetterman himself said violence is wrong, no exceptions. Yet his own party ignores him because it doesn't fit the story they want to tell. Meanwhile, Jessica Tarlov and others in her lane keep spinning empty excuses, as if silence and denial can mask hypocrisy. But that silence speaks volumes. It shows they'd rather protect their political narrative than protect actual people. And that's why Fetterman's warning matters. If the left truly scaled back its rhetoric, it would reduce real-world escalation. But doing that would require them to confront their own side, something they've shown little willingness to do.